Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Man Thing, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
Hey, gentlemen, how is it going? We had a surprise drop from AMG. We know about Man Thing, and we also know about Nova, so we will be doing him next week. But yeah, we got some characters. I'm excited. They're pretty good. Steven is not able to join us because he's driving. It's apparently a very long drive that he is currently doing. So, wishing him the best. But yeah, we're here to talk about a new character. I'm real jazzed about this one, guys. All right, so let's talk about upcoming tournaments before we do anything else. I There is a tournament coming up on the 21st of December at Lost Legion Games and Comics. That's in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is our local game shop. So if you are interested in coming to play some games, come on down. I think we've got, what, 7 or 8 people signed up right now. So, and
And
that's pretty normal,
and a couple of those people are people I don't personally know yet. I mean,
which is interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. This is good. This is good. And then coming up on the 18th of January, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia again. This one is the BECC qualifier. So this one is the one that's important for everyone to make it to. So if you have not yet signed up, come on down. We need as many people as we can to finish out this BECC event. Okay. Uh, Let's talk about aside from the 2 character drops, is there any news from AMG? I don't believe that there is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay. So let's talk about games that we have played recently. I have not played any games recently because I am out of town for work. Brad, did you guys play any games recently?
I played a game. I played a game against CJ. Uh, I played New Mutants. He played Web Warriors, and this game was a blast. So we played Superpowered Scoundrels and Senators. So there were 1,000,000 points.
Oh my gosh.
And we played, I don't remember what point level he picked. So
20. You guys played 20.
it was 20. Okay. I played Magic, of course. Uh, Shadowcat, Bishop, Emma Frost. There has to be someone else.
X23.
You've got 6 points hanging out there.
X23.
Okay.
And I played Warlock because I thought the automatic damage would help me out. I did not get to do the automatic damage the entire game. He played a bunch of spider people. He played the same breakdown as me, so 2 4s and the rest were 3s. His 4s were Gwenum and Spider Woman. And then he played Spectacular, Miles, Black Cat. Is that enough points?
You need one more 3.
You need one more 3. Ghost Spider?
He couldn't have. He played Gwenum.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, Iceman. He played Iceman. That's who it was.
Iceman. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And I had a bunch of I had 2 Incinerates. I almost took Domino, but I went with X23 instead because of Senators. So I had Bishop and Shadowcat giving out Incinerate. I had a bunch of Mystic attacks. I was ready for him. Like, I picked stuff knowing I was going to play Web Warriors. And then I had a bunch of energy attacks for when he took Gwenum. So I felt like I had the tools uh, to get it done, but this was just such a fun game. It was a little swingy on both sides. I got more victory points than one. The ending score sounds so bad because it ended up 22-11, but that's because I scored uh, 9 points the last round. Up until then,
Oh my.
it was pretty close. Uh, but it was just a ton of fun. It was so much different than the game the week before against Thanos, because Thanos is BS. This just felt
So
like a
like,
fun, fair game, like we were playing real MCP.
so tell me, for New Mutants, you've played them for a couple times now.
Yeah.
Do they play a scenario type game or an attrition type game or
Yes.
somewhere in the middle? Yes. Okay.
Uh, I think that their strengths are they can go wide and hit kind of above their weight class.
Okay.
So, Brandon has played them. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I feel like they're like one of those teams that like they can lean on the attrition, or they can lean on they can play scenario with scenario teams, but I think they have just better attrition than a lot of the scenario teams. Like I feel like their
Yeah.
threes and fours are just kind of outclassing a lot of the scenario teams' threes and fours, so they can kind of fight over points reliably.
But if you play them into an attrition team, you do not want to fight them. You want to use their
Right.
extra movement and all that stuff to try to play scenario.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to out attrition an attrition team. Like if they
Absolutely
do, it's like
not.
it's an accident.
Yeah. And they've
I
got
look. I.
they got fun
Sorry.
little
Go ahead.
They got fun little toys. They got a lot of things. And Brandon convinced me to make a change in my list. I changed 2 models. I'll talk about one of them. The other one's a surprise for whoever I play next, I guess. I put in Honey Badger and Jonathan
Huh.
the Unstoppable.
Huh.
Didn't you
Hmm.
tell me both of the changes?
You do know both the changes.
Yeah,
You
but I don't,
should.
and the listeners don't.
I will not spoil them. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if there was another change that I didn't know about.
No, I don't think
Honey
so.
badger, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Brad. Do you want to go into honey badger at all in your thought process, or do you want to leave that be?
Fred's so
Most
confused.
mostly it's for the lulls. Uh there
Okay.
is some good tech. So with their leadership, uh if she has 3 power and they attack one of your models you don't want them attacking, you can teleport her on the first hit and then take the second hit for them.
Yeah, she can reverse. She can bodyguard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she can bodyguard it. And the teleport also helps get her -1 defense thing online. Uh,
That's fair.
and
That's fair.
and it's also partially because of the other model and fitting points wise. 2 helps.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right. Well, thank you, Brad. Brandon, do you have any games that you've played recently that you want to talk about?
I have not played any games.
Okay. All right.
I really really hope for your sake that that is true and that you didn't play Greg this week and forgot about him.
I was in the hospital all week, so like
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
right.
played any.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh shit. Okay.
I
Well,
did not play. I did not play any games this week. I can assure of that.
okay. Okay. Well, wishing you the best, but we don't have to go into that at all. All right. So let's move on to I guess the next thing up is trivia, right?
Oh, yes, it can be. I mean, you're the host, Fred, so you get to pick what order these
I'll
things
let,
happen.
we do things in an order, and trivia is next.
It's so good for our listeners that you are the host and not me, who would spin a wheel to figure out what we're doing next, or some
God.
other random way of changing it every time. So,
No,
I feel like everyone but him would do that, actually.
everyone
absolutely
but
not. We are
Fred.
doing things in order.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the little trivia game that I invented / stole kind of the idea of something else. And how this works is I ask trivia questions to make fun of Fred because he doesn't know anything about comics. And so he is trying to guess what Marvel Crisis Protocol character I am talking about. I'll give him a clue. He'll get 3 points if he gets it right. I'll give him a hint. He'll get 2 points if he gets it right, and then he can turn over to Brandon. And if Brandon's paying attention and gets it right, Fred will get 1 point.
It's not always the case, though. I don't always pay attention.
I'm aware. we have turned it over to you, Brandon, and you're like, can you reread everything? I was not paying attention. So
Usually it's because I usually am like, oh, well, I know the answer from the first one. I think Fred will get this, and then
Okay.
What makes you think that I will ever get any of these?
Fred,
I don't
I
know,
will
man.
never
You
get any of
you
when,
get all the ones I never think you're gonna get. So like at this point, like
when CJ came in on Thursday, he was like, Fred won this week, and then I had to remind him that actually Brandon stole all your points and won.
That's right. I lost.
Okay.
we take dubs.
Your
Sneaky
first
dibs.
trivia question, Fred, is this character is the guardian of the Nexus of Realities, a place where one can access any reality in existence.
Is that the
That's-
totality of the hint?
Yes, that is the whole
Well, this
clue.
is Man Thing. This is Man Thing because isn't his card called Guardian of the Nexus of Realities or something?
Is
he
it
has something that-
really?
I think there is something that says Guardian of the Nexus of Reality. It's Man Thing. Man Thing is the answer.
His special superpower is Guardian of the Nexus of all realities.
Yeah. I read that recently, Brad.
Aww.
That's his only superpower.
Yeah.
Darn it. Okay, 3 points. I'm going to read the hint anyway. This biochemist worked on a project to recreate the super soldier serum that created Captain America with Barbara Morse. Later, she became Mockingbird. And Dr. Wendell, who is probably high evolutionary. I don't think it's ever actually been confirmed that this is the same Dr. Wendell. Previously, he had worked with Kurt Connors. Who's that? Fred?
Oh, I recognize the name. I don't know. Who's Kurt Connors?
The Lizard.
Lizard.
I thought that would be a
I do know
layup
that.
for
I should have
you.
known that. That is a layup. I feel bad.
Because
You should have
AIM
been.
Because AIM was seen in the area, this character destroys his notes and escapes with his wife, only for her to betray him to AIM. He gets away and injects the only remaining sample of his super soldier serum into himself, gaining his superpowers to fight off the AIM thugs.
Okay, and it's Man Thing.
It is. I, of course, did not mention that he injects himself, falls into a swamp, and emerges as a super soldier swamp guy who causes people who fear to catch fire.
Right.
And looks
I
all
assumed
who
the
know
second
fear.
hint was going to have something to do with the fire part, because
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that would have.
Those who know fear burn at the Man Thing's touch.
Hmm.
Okay, your
If that would have been
second-
your first. If that would have been your first hint, there's no way you would have got it.
Yeah, you're correct. If you had flipped those, I would have been in much more trouble than I was.
I should have looked at his card again. In the universe created when Xavier's insane son Legion goes back in time to kill Magneto and accidentally kills Xavier, called the Age of Apocalypse, this character is the only character to remember the correct timeline. This is because this character is not supposed to exist in either this new timeline or the regular timeline.
Okay, so this sounds familiar. There's some. This has been something that I have heard before, but I don't know who it is. I have no. Uh, so what I'm going to say is it Logan,
That
the
is
Wolverine?
that is incorrect.
Okay.
I'm also just now realizing that we did not set up how many points you need to win. And
Oh, we
since
didn't.
and since you nailed that first one, I'm gonna go with 6 this week.
Oh crap! What is happening?
I feel like it's usually 7.
No, it isn't.
I started at 7. 7 was impossible for Fred. Then I went down to 6, and that still seemed too hard. So I went down to 5, but we're going back up to 6 this week, baby. Your hint. This character sets out to destroy the first mutant baby after almost all the mutants are depowered by the Scarlet Witch on M Day. This character is convinced that this baby is what leads to an alternate future where mutants are rounded up, branded, and put into concentration camps. This character ends up chasing Cable and the baby through time, wiping out millions of people at various points in time just trying to kill this one baby.
Oh my gosh. I mean, so I was gonna say Bishop, but Bishop doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't kill millions of people. He's not a villain, is he? This isn't Bishop. So who else travels through? Who else is timey wimey and doesn't belong in our universe? Mm. Okay, so I'm thinking of villains now. Someone who shouldn't be alive. Is this, and who shouldn't be in our universe? Is this, oh God, is this Cassandra Nova?
No. Brandon, do you
Who?
know who this is?
Mic on.
Sorry, I had my mic off. My dog was yelling. So the second hint was they chasing Cable through time with,
Trying to kill a baby.
yeah, the infected son of the Summers. And who has he guessed?
I
know
guess Logan
his
and
first
Cassandra
guess
Nova.
didn't matter. Yeah, the first guess didn't matter. That wasn't a real guess.
I asked Cassandra
was
Nova.
the second. Sinister infected the baby, but I don't feel like he chased the baby. Chased Cable and the baby.
Oh, watch the no dead air. Hey, okay.
I am gonna go with Bishop.
Okay.
Bishop is correct.
Oh, dang it! I talked myself out of being Bishop.
I knew him and Bishop got into it. I have read a lot of that series, weirdly, but I know him and Bishop got into it. I just could not, for the life of me, remember who was chasing him when
Fred,
he was.
Yeah.
for a bonus point, who is the baby?
Is it Ruby Summers?
I gave you I mean, okay, you got the wrong kid.
I got the wrong kid.
Brandon, for a million points because it doesn't matter. Who's the baby?
It is Nathan Summers.
It is not. Cable is
Not-
Nathan Summers.
Oh, Cable is Nathan. Who is the baby's the infected child? Who is the baby?
The baby's not the infected child. The infected child that you're thinking of is Nathan Summers, who becomes Cable. The baby in this story is Hope Summers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I know who that is. Okay.
I know you do,
Okay.
Fred. That's why I thought I'd bring it up. Okay, so Fred still only has 4 points.
It's 4 points now. Yes.
Uh-huh. So you need 2 points to win. So if you can get this on your own, Fred, you're good.
Yeah.
The ultimate
Yay.
universe version of this character gained their superpowers from taking a drug that they invented to recreate the super soldier serum. In the main Marvel universe, a lab accident led to this character being exposed to a chemical unrelated to the super soldier formula that gave them powers but had a big side effect. After this character's death, this character's son takes on the mantle this character started. This character gets better, however, undies, and is around in the comics today. Recently, even saving the world from the Skrull invasion by killing the Skrull Queen and leading S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, so my first thought was Daredevil because I was thinking like the major side effect is blindness, but I don't think it's Daredevil because Daredevil doesn't have a son, and I don't think Daredevil ever died. So instead of Daredevil, who else got transformed by like chemicals? Is it? We brought up Connor. We brought up Lizard already in this conversation in this segment, and he kind of fits, but leads Shield. I don't think so. He does not lead Shield. So who leads Shield? Who could and son? Who has a son? Is this Nick Fury?
It is not Nick Fury.
Well, poop.
You
Okay.
fell for the trap. Your hit.
Well, hey, at least I knew enough to recognize. At least the trap worked. Sometimes the trap doesn't work because I know so little about the situation.
He actually has been injected by a super soldier serum knockoff. Nick Fury has. And this is unrelated to the super soldier serum. All right. In a recon, I think everyone hates. This character was
retcon?
In a retcon.
Okay.
That's a retroactive continuity where they change what happened in the past with a new story. This character was revealed to have slept with Gwen Stacy before her death, producing twins that this character raises in secret after her death. These children age rapidly because of the formula that gives this character his powers in their blood and causes them to go insane. This was later retconned again to be a plan created by an AI version of this character to get revenge on Peter Parker and this character. This character also killed Gwen.
Jeez. Okay, so there's a lot of changing perspective pronouns there. Okay.
Can I give him a weird hint?
No.
So this person had children with Gwen Stacy in a retcon that everyone hates.
Yes.
And once you know the answer, you'll understand.
Okay.
This character that we are doing, also killed Gwen Stacy.
I don't know who killed Gwen Stacy. Is it
one of the most famous moments? One of the most famous
moments. That was
moments.
An absolute layup
in comics. Everyone at home is screaming at you now, Fred. Go ahead, make your guess.
I don't know who killed Gwen Stacy.
Go ahead and make your guess.
Okay, geez. All right. Is this someone in the Spider-Verse? Is this Venom? Eddie Brock?
No.
Okay.
Brandon, take a guess.
Is this Norman Osborn?
That is correct.
Norman, hold on. Okay, I hate the retcon. You're right.
I told you once you knew the answer, you would know.
The retcon is insane.
How you didn't know that Norman Osborn, who killed Gwen Stacy, is an insult to everybody who listens to this.
I didn't know that.
Well, I wrote that and we just said it, but technically Peter kills Gwen. It's just Green Goblin's fault.
Peter Parker doesn't save Gwen.
No, he kills her. So Green Goblin throws her off the bridge to kill her, and Peter Parker sends out a web line and catches her, but the force of him catching her snaps her neck. So
Oh heavens!
technically he's responsible, but it's
I disagree. It's not his fault.
he definitely
He made an
takes
attempt.
he takes responsibility for it. It
Oh, I believe that
tears him
100%. I believe that it is the worst thing that's ever happened to Peter Parker.
Norman Osborn kills the Skrull Queen, and then he is put in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he immediately renames Hammer, and a bunch of bad stuff happens.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
The shield thing we've definitely talked about.
We have.
Yeah. Well, I remember that.
That's
I
when
just
he was-
didn't think of.
That's when he was Iron Patriot.
Oh, God. Okay.
He took Tony Stark's armor, he painted it red, white, and blue, and became the Iron Patriot.
Wow, Green Goblin. Wow. And the super soldier serum thing now makes a ton of sense. Okay.
Yeah, in the Ultimate Universe, he takes the Goblin formula and he turns into a big green Goblin guy. That did not happen in the main universe. Okay, Fred, you're at 5 points. Lucky for you, there's a special bonus question that I'm sure you had no idea was coming. What do these characters have in common?
Okay, we've got Man-Thing. We've got shit. We've got Bishop. We've got Bishop. I got there, and we got Green Goblin. They all have the ability to grant incinerate.
Grant? I don't think that's a grant.
They all have the ability to give incinerate as a condition.
As a gift. Okay, that is correct. You get 1 point, and you win this week, Fred.
Hey, this is the first win in a very long time.
If you don't count last week when you had to give all your points to Brandon.
I really thought the hint was gonna be, or the answer to the hint was gonna be, all the characters were immune to stun after Bishop and Man-Thing.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row? That would have been so good.
Well, and then the problem was
the fact that Green Goblin is not immune to stun. He has been stunned so many times.
the fun fact. My special hint was going to be, this is a character that you have played more than anyone in our area.
That's true.
That would have actually probably helped me a lot. I may have gotten there.
So the thing that got me was the first hint. The took over Shield and had like a serum, like was injected or anything. I was like, this could be Hulk. There could be a weird timeline where this is like Bruce Banner, which would have made it 3 characters that were immune to stun.
I don't think Bruce has ever been in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think.
So that's the part I couldn't think of. I was like, the serum injection, like that could definitely be something, but I was like, I don't know if he's ever actually led S.H.I.E.L.D. But I was kind of hopeful because I don't think, I'm not sure Fred would have remembered 2 weeks in a row that was the thing.
Nope, absolutely not. I would have
forgotten. I wish I had done that. I could have found someone immune to stun that I hadn't done yet.
There's not many characters immune to stun. It would almost had to be more like the Hulk.
Yeah, it's not. Well, all the big kaiju, or a lot of the big kaijus, are immune to stun.
Dormammu.
I don't know.
Is he not?
No, I was giving him an idea of someone he could have done.
Yeah, I don't know if I've done Dormammu. I might not have even done him yet. That might have been perfect.
Well, now I feel dumb that I missed Norman Osborn, my guy, the Green Goblin. Okay,
those were not traditional Norman Osborn hints.
Yeah, no. They were nowhere near where I thought it was.
I gave him, he killed Gwen Stacy. That is the most obvious hint I think I've ever given.
There was a layup. There was an available layup for Fred that he just whiffed on.
Hey, again, the whole point of this event is I know nothing about the comics.
You absolutely proved it today, Fred.
Yep.
Anyone who was doubting you before,
even in Amazing Spider-Man, the movie,
It happens
It's
almost exactly like the comics.
it is Osborn, like,
Yeah,
and you've
this is
seen
the
the movie.
second Amazing Spider-Man. I have seen it. I don't remember a thing about it. I remember nothing about that movie. It was very forgettable.
I mean, the main thing I
Probably the
remember is
weakest
Gwen Stacy
Spider-Man
dying.
movie that was ever made. It's I think that is that is correct. It's the weakest Spider-Man movie that has ever been made.
The weakest.
Yeah, I stand by it. It is the weakest. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Man Thing, otherwise known as Theodore Sallis. Sallis? Yeah. Okay, his defenses are 3 physical, 3 energy, and 4 mystic. He has 6 health on his front side and 5 health on his back side. He is a 3 threat model. He is size 3, and he is a movement speed short, and that is okay because he's on a medium base. All right, Brandon, why don't you do his attack suite?
Lashing Tendrils is a physical attack, range 3, 5 dice, no power. It has the traditional builder rules, and if you get a hit in a wild, you get to reel in. After the attack is resolved, if the character is size 3 or less, it can be pushed towards this character's short. For a Mystic attack, Emotional Agitation, it is range 3, 7 dice for 3 power. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains Incinerate and Poison special conditions.
Okay, and Brad, why don't you read these superpowers?
You just give me whichever section's longer, don't you?
To be fair, there's
Uh, I,
actually only one superpower.
There's
well, yeah.
4 superpowers.
I give you the section that I think contains the piece of information that I'm going to throw back at you, as that he has Guardian of the
Guardian of the
Nexus
Nexus of all realities.
Okay, sure. Guardian of the Nexus of all realities. It's an active superpower that costs 3. Choose this character or another character within range 3 of it, and place the chosen character within 3 of its current position. A character can be affected by this superpower only once per turn. All who know fear burn at the Man Thing's touch. This is one of my favoritely named abilities ever. Innate. After an attack made by this character is resolved, or after an attack targeting this character is resolved, if if damage was dealt and the enemy character is within range 2 of this character, the enemy character gains the Incinerate special condition. Wow, I had a tough time with that one. Moss and Mud and Swamp, innate superpower. When this character is defending, enemy characters do not roll additional dice for crit results in their attack rolls.
That's
Healing.
insane.
What?
That's so good. It's amazing. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Healing factor 2, immunity, hex, and stun.
Okay.
I have the card up if you want me to read it.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and read the
What's
tactics
the
card.
name of the card?
It is called Dimensional Quagmire. It is an unaffiliated reactive card. During the power phase, an allied Man-Thing may spend 2 power to play this card. While this character is not dazed until the end of the round, once per turn, the first time each turn, an enemy character begins a movement within 3 of Man-Thing and ends that movement not within 3 of Man-Thing, you roll a die. If the result is a crit hit or wild, you place the enemy character within 3 of Man-Thing.
All right. Can we talk about how unbelievably devastating this card can be? Like, you could place they could move off of you in one side of your 3-inch bubble, of your range 3 bubble, and if you get the trigger, you can place them on the other end of your of the range 3 bubble. You could put them really far out of position.
I
This
really like it because it's very thematic.
yeah, is around it. Like, it says while he is not dazed. So if you can just daze him, you don't have to worry about it.
Also only
also-
costs 2 power, which is not power's not going to be something this character doesn't have. He's going to have plenty of power.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this tactics card is great. Like if it triggers once, it's paid for itself easily. And it is such a strong effect. It can be really devastating for your opponent's plans. I really like it. Is the okay? It says if they are beginning a movement within range 3 and ending it outside of range 3. Why does it specify it can only happen once per turn? Is there a
It happens-
circumstance?
So if you move your first movement in and you place them and then they move outside of 3, the second movement, you can't do it the second one.
Oh, wait, really?
Wait, what?
Hold on.
Say
No,
that
I
again.
don't think that's correct. I don't think you're correct, Brandon.
Oh my
I think
god.
it's the well is not.
Okay,
The
so when
first
this character
time-
is not dazed until the end of the round, once per turn, the first time each turn an enemy character begins a movement within 3 of anything and ends it within it. The reason it's read that way is because they can move without and be within 3, move outside of 3, you move them back, they could then move again.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Outside
yes,
of 3.
You're correct. Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
I know
That-
I am.
You are correct.
Brandon, we
I
thought
read this card a bunch of times because the wording is very convoluted.
Yeah.
Brandon, we thought you meant that they moved into his bubble and then tried to move out, and then you catch them. You can't catch them with this.
No.
That's what we
Correct.
thought.
You
Like,
can catch
that is what we both thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's so like if you move them within 3, so like say you have someone and it begins a movement. Yeah, so if they place anything and you take them outside of 3, you move them in. Then if they go again, they can move and then place and get away.
You can't keep them there forever.
Yeah.
Right. I do got to say, this rules. This is great. Do you guys think that, like, is there a circumstance where if you are bringing Man Thing, you don't bring this card?
I don't think so.
I think
Oh.
this card is good enough that you bring this if you have Man Thing in your roster.
You'd have to have
Yeah.
pretty bonkers 5 cards not to take this card.
Yeah, I mean, so like in affiliation, like if you think about like in affiliation with like Midnight Suns, like there's not a ton of tactics cards. Like you'd have to have a pretty odd list to not have like, so like your 2 restricted cards, Siege of Darkness, and then like if you take
That's
Iron
the most
Fist, you're gonna
I've
bring
found.
his card, and then like that's really it. There's not a lot of other cards that you're taking in Midnight Suns. So like in Midnight Suns, you probably are if you're splashing this character, in lists that have a bunch of really good tactics cards. Like that'd probably be the only time. It may not, but I do think you're probably taking this most of the time because you can play this. This card is like devastating for like they've done a lot to not want you to play like control and like super scenario because like cards like this just make it almost impossible to play like super scenario. Like this against Web Warriors is like terrible. Like this is awful.
I was thinking about it. If you can get out with a web swing, you don't trigger it. Like if you
a movement is a play. A place is a movement.
Oh, you're right.
It's not a
Right.
move action. It's a movement.
It is a movement. You're correct.
It does
You're right.
matter. Because I think Nova, there's something that says specifically move action. That this one doesn't.
Yeah, and like for an affiliation like Midnight Suns, being able to like suck in like Web Warriors, like you can just kind of shred them. Like
Yeah.
and emotional agitation also just really really good against spiders.
This guy kills Web Warriors like
Yeah.
real bad. And
Yeah.
Incinerate, Web Warriors hate having Incinerate.
Yeah. And
real bad.
Incinerate, Poison, like he's just real bad for him.
Good news for
Yeah.
Spider-Man. They're actually buddies, and he would never.
He's a really good guy. Old
I should
Theodore.
point out that this character is in the Midnight Suns affiliation.
Probably.
That is the only. Is that? Do we not know his affiliations?
We technically they are no affiliation is official till it gets added to the document. They have said that he is supposed to be Midnight Suns, but they've also
Right.
told us lies before. So
Okay. Okay.
It's
Well,
arguably the
take-
only affiliation he truly fits in besides. Like, that would be like the main one he would fit in.
right. Okay, let's talk about this guy's card. Let's talk about everything that's going on this guy's actual character card here. How is he 3 threat? Like, I mean, I get it. He's only got 11 health, and his defenses aren't amazing, but your opponent doesn't blow up crits, which is really strong. That's
uh,
a strong effect.
I think that another very strong 3-point character has.
Yes, yes, you're right. Another very strong, another character that feels like they are better than the 3 threat that they cost. That being Domino
No,
and Black Cat.
Black Cat, not Domino.
To be fair, Black
the-
Cat has an additional line of text in there too.
Yeah. That being that they cannot adjust their dice either. But I mean, still,
If
really,
that said
people
that-
can crit against Domino.
Wait,
I
maybe
didn't.
I'm wrong.
I didn't realize that. Okay, you might. I might be. I
There's
just
something
remember,
with
like,
Domino. I haven't played her in several months.
okay, well, she's not relevant to this conversation. This guy rules.
No, you're
he's got
right.
a
Domino has that role.
Okay, I thought so.
It's not
okay,
called
so,
the same, but it's the
No.
same rule.
Yeah. This guy's has a cost 3 7 dice mystic attack that automatically gives incinerate and poison. That's a great attack.
That's
a
also
really good.
that is a very standard spender at this point. 3 power, 7 dice, range 3 is becoming very, very standard.
And it's effective. It's a good build. It's a good spender.
I
That build
I
has a
agree that
strong-
I think it's the correct place for that level of attack to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the models we've done recently who have bad spenders are real sad.
Right. Yeah. All the older spenders. Yeah. And then he has healing factor 2, which I mean, how often is it that a character is left with 1 health after you've done everything into him, and then they get to activate and he heals 2 damage? I mean, this guy's really good for a 3 threat.
He also could get away really good. Being able to place himself 3 and then move twice is going to be something that's like he can get around for being a short movement. Like he can get around.
Yeah, you bring up something else amazing. He can move other characters, other allied characters. I should clarify. But within range 3, and then they get placed within range 3 of themselves. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And it costs 3 power, which is pretty cheap for that strong of an effect. This guy's incredible. Like, I think that he's amazing. What do you? All right, someone else talk. Brandon, what are your thoughts here?
I mean I think he's really good. He has a lot of ways to get people off points. He is like the perfect fit for like the monster mash. Like he fits with the other monsters really, really well. Just being able to place them, especially like I mean spending 3 power to place Dracula, like 3 or Adam, like any of the other really monsters, just being able to move people into place, being able to take Blade and get him out of place. This is also an affiliation that has an Immortal Hulk in affiliation that he can just place it within 3. The one thing is, I do think I think there's a learning curve. I think that's going to be playing this model. Like you're going to really have to be at that edge of 3 and be really picky. But Midnight Suns are going to fix a lot of that with the bump. But because this model is going to be able to die, like it doesn't have any defensive tech besides the crit. Like it's gonna die. Like the crits still count, so like you're still gonna like there's a good chance that like you can take like you're gonna kind of want to activate this character late in the turn, and he can just there's gonna be times where he's just gonna die. Like so, you're gonna have to try to play him and keep him a little bit safer. Like he's not someone you're just gonna stick in the middle of the board and hope for the best. Because 3 dice, even with 6 health, like you're gonna die. Not having any kind of damage reduction, like the not exploding crits is cool, but it's probably like if he had damage reduction instead, it'd be perfect.
But that would be too strong.
Meh.
He's good enough. Like
Yeah,
I think that
you can't make
if
this
you
guy better.
Yeah.
if you made it damage reduction instead of not counting crits or not blowing up crits, this guy would be a 4 threat model.
Yeah, but he's gonna really strive. Like you really gonna want to keep your characters within like 2 of him, and then the enemies like within 3 of him, and just kind of float around in that area because you do want to get the incinerate. Free incinerate's great. Being able to place and being able to attack twice is gonna be something that's really good. Um, he's gonna have a lot of power. He's gonna be able to do the placing and the spender a lot. He's not spending power anywhere else. He's not. There's no like little superpowers that he has to spend power on. So he's gonna be moving stuff around. And immunity to hex and stun is so good.
Yeah.
So good. He fits in. Him and Incontu are gonna be problematic to play against. Like they're gonna be maybe not problematic, but very annoying to play against with all of both being immune to Hex, Hex and Stun, and then Bleed and Poison, and just being 6 threat models, 6 threat of models, with everything they can do is just it's gonna be
Bonkers.
tough. There's a lot going on
bonkers.
there. Midnight Suns is getting into a really, really good place. And it's funny because it's like they're really getting into a good place because like the trick has always been against Midnight Suns. If you just take out Blade, like you're in a really good spot. But now that's not the case. Like even without the leadership, these models are good enough that like if you've just ignored them the entire game, like they've taken over.
They
Like
killed everything. Yeah.
yeah, the pushing, be able to push people off points with the tendrils attack, and then just like with the tactics card too, like and you can place your own characters, like just being able to place with him plus the bump, like you're really guaranteeing all of your characters are getting 2 attacks for the most part on like every attack. Like it's gonna be he's gonna be a pain to deal with, and at 3 threat is just for this level of character is kind of hilarious. I'm pretty sure when we guessed this character, we were all in the 4, 5, and 6 range.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, so the 3 is hilarious for me on this because it's just you're gonna be able to play this character pretty much anywhere, especially if you like this character, you can play him anywhere. I don't think there's
Yeah.
anywhere that isn't gonna enjoy having this style of character to play with.
Right. Brad, what are your thoughts here looking at this guy?
I think he's real good. That Man Thing fans are going to be very happy splashing him wherever they want and taking his card with him.
Yeah, the card not being affiliated is also just icing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the control pieces you want. He's a little hard to take down. If he was any harder to take down, he'd be really broken. But the between the card and the teleporting your people and the pushing and the giving out incinerate and what's the other oh yeah, giving out even more incinerate. It's he's gonna put in a lot of support work wherever you play him. Like
Yeah.
play him in a list
People
with Hulk. Hulk will love it. Play him in a list with Malekith. Malekith will love it. Play him in a list with God, I don't even want to think about Thanos. Wherever you want to
Well,
play him, just
not being able
he'll
to move
help.
enemies is relevant, but one thing too, one big thing is specifically on this one is going to be like people were playing Lockjaw because of the plays.
Yeah.
Obviously, he gets 2 power a turn, so he can do it a little bit more reliably. But this character being able to place pretty consistently, like Lockjaw doesn't do anything else.
This character's way better than Lockjaw at
Yeah, like this
everything
character
else
does. Yeah, this character does a lot of other stuff,
and costs the same amount.
and it's both 3 threat.
Yeah.
Like you're not replacing Lockjaw in like Inhumans with Man Thing.
No. Although,
You should play both of them.
Yeah. Okay, so we are very high on this guy. So let's give this guy a letter grade. I think he rules. I think he's great. I think he's a sign of growing power creep, which might be an issue with the game, but I think he is an outstanding model. I'm giving him a gentleman's A, an A from me. All right, Brad, what are your thoughts here on Man Thing?
I think that they need to go back and look at a bunch of the old models and bring them up to a more modern version of the game. Like, before the cast, I brought up X-23, who, when she came out, seemed very good and is now fine.
Yeah.
Nothing special. No Man Thing. I think Man Thing's an A+.
Okay. Brandon, what do you want to give to Man Thing here?
I love the character. I love the affiliation he's in. I love all the things he does. I'm also in the A. I'm in the A+. I think he's really good. I think you can splash him a lot of places. And he's a perfect fit in a couple affiliations that he won't be affiliated in technically.
Okay. All right. Well, I will ask you about those later in the cast. But before that, hey, Brad, do you
Yeah.
have any comic books that feature? I'm not gonna. Mr. Sallis
Ted?
here. Ted Sallis.
Fred, have you
Theodore.
seen the Werewolf by Night like TV movie thing that they made?
No, I have not. Nope.
You really should watch it. Especially now that you
Yeah.
know who these characters are, because Ted is in that, and they call him Ted the whole time.
Okay.
So the comic recommendations, I have 3 of them this time. I have Man Thing's first solo series from 1974. I have written here 1 through 23, but I actually think it was just 22 issues. So it's either 22 or 23 issues. Steve Gerber, various artists. And this is the cult classic definitive series for Man Thing. So the character was used a couple times, and then like he was popular enough that they gave him a series, and it kind of grew in popularity as the series went on because it was just so well written. People loved this comic, and even to this day, like people recommend this series, like I am right now, if you want to read about Man Thing. So this is the first place to go. Also, Steve Gerber at the time wrote some other things. So there's like a couple episodes of Journey into Mystery issues, a couple issues of Journey Through Fear. There's 5 issues of Giant Sized Man Thing, my personal favorite, and some other things that he's in around the same time that Steve Gerber also wrote that are really good too, but like the list gets really long if I just even talk about all of those. So the series and the other Steve Gerber stuff. And then Steve Gerber wrote a sequel to his story from Man Thing 12. And it was never made into a comic. The script just sat at Marvel until after Steve Gerber's death. Kevin Nolan, Nowlan, Nowlan, drew it for Marvel, and they released it as Infernal Man Thing. Uh, and if you read the other Steve Gerber stuff, I would highly suggest this. This came out in the early 2000s, I think. Maybe it was the early 2010s. I don't remember the date on this, but it's like a long time after it was written.
Okay.
So there's two.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead, Fred.
okay. I just know so little about. I guess the only thing that I know about him is exactly what we've discussed in this episode. That he is somehow the guardian of the nexus of all realities. How does that happen?
Magic.
How did he become the guardian? Okay.
Magic.
Okay.
So
I guess
the
I have to read these
he
comics to know the answer to that.
the serum he injected himself with and the magic of the swamp mixed to make him into Man Thing. And he is instinctively, because he doesn't have his memories or really much of thoughts anymore, he instinctively guards the nexus of all realities from people coming in and messing with it.
So he has no he himself, Ted Sallis, is
Yes.
gone. Like his thought processes are no longer part of Man Thing.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes he gets them back. Like in our next story, Man Thing 2017 1 through 5, written by R.L. Stein.
Wait, what?
Yes, that one.
That R.L. Stein?
That one. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's various artists that worked on this book. But Man Thing has learned to talk, and he has become a Hollywood celebrity. But when evil forces threaten the swamp, Man Thing has to decide between his new life and the balance of the swamp. That's what this comic is about.
Oh boy, this is the most R.L. Stein ass story.
This comic also has like some comic short stories also written by R.L. Stein that are very goosebumpsy. But the main story
Okay.
is Man Thing and his
Oh.
Hollywood stardom and fighting crocodiles and snakes and stuff.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, thank you, Brad.
Here's the other
sorry.
thing you need to know about Man Thing. Fred, one more thing.
One more thing.
He is cooler than Swamp Thing. Okay, you can go on.
I believe that absolutely. All right. Well, Brandon, do you have any crap. What affiliation do you think that this guy would fit in the best?
I mean, I think he can fit pretty much anywhere you want to play him, but the best, honestly, I think he's going to be an absolute staple in like Hellfire Club, Dormammu. I love him with Dormammu. Being able to pay 3 power on him and place Dormammu within 3, getting the extra power every turn, and just being able to keep people near you. And if they do kill him, you can use the tactics card to bring him back. I really want to just play him with Dormammu all the time. As soon as I read him, that's all I wanted to do. I want to sit there. I want to teleport Dormammu around the board. I want to punch things in the face. And I want, if they kill my Man Thing, I want to be able to resurrect him.
Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah. So I think anywhere, and I don't think this isn't one of those characters where it's like anywhere that just gives extra powers effective. Like, I think you can honestly play this character. I think honestly, also, I think a really good place for him is going to be Web Warriors, because he gives a lot of extra movement. The reroll is going to help him a lot, defensively. And he can if you're not playing against a Man Thing and you can use the card to get everyone off of points or away from points, you can, when they're moving, to go chase down your people. Like, imagine someone's trying to chase down Miles, moves out, and you just move them to the other end of the table.
I mean, I love it. I want to do that right now.
And the fact that he's 3 threat, like it's just you don't have to worry about splashing him. Like he can fit anywhere at 3 threat.
Thanks, I hate it.
Okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
All
that's
right.
the thing too, because like if you can stay away from like Hulk and he just move, like the characters you can just take out of play with this character is just kind of crazy.
Yeah. This guy's so good. Okay. Well, the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, I've been sitting here. I knew that this was coming up, and I have seen the creature from the Black Lagoon before, but I'm not gonna recommend it because I kind of didn't like it. I don't think it was very good. Uh, but it put me in the mind for older movies, and I'm actually uh, I'm not gonna recommend that right now. Actually, that one's just too much of a stretch. I'm just gonna recommend the thing that I watched recently that made me very happy, and that is the movie Wicked. I watched Wicked recently, and I loved it. I love musicals, and I very much loved this portrayal of the first half of the musical Wicked. Go see it; it's great.
Wow.
You will walk out of it
Spoiler.
very happy. What?
Said wow, spoiler.
It's great. It's a really good movie. They the Ariana Grande and Cynthia, oh gosh, I forget her last name. Are so incredible in it that it is worth watching. It is a fantastic movie. Go watch it.
I know Fred.
What were you gonna say, Brad?
I know Fred doesn't know this, but Brandon, did you know that they made a Man Thing movie?
Yes, I did know that.
I learned that today, and it's on my to watch list. I have to see it.
There's a Man Thing movie?
There is. It's from like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It comes up in those random lists if you ever click on like I mean if you ever get like
Oh no, it's from
when your phone's
2005.
when your phone's
That's
listening to
recent.
you and you'll get things that are like oh, comic book movies everyone forgot about. This one it's always on there.
Yeah, it's
Was
got,
it? Is it because it's extremely forgettable?
it,
2005. That's so close. Iron Man was 3 years later.
Fred, it has a 4.1 on IMDb. I have to see it.
Really?
I have to see
I
it.
believe if I remember right, it's like a monster movie. Like it's not like
Yeah.
a comic movie. Like it's a very much a monster movie.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
a lot of Man Thing comics read more like the old horror comics than they do superhero comics.
The cover of the movie that I'm looking at is just it just says Man Thing written very like green and like furry. It says widescreen at the top because of old DVD covers. And then there's just Man Thing staring at you in the top half and the bottom half is a severed head. So
Oh wow. Okay.
I've never heard of any of the people in the movie, so I got nothing.
I've never heard of this movie. I'm looking at it now. It looks great.
I have
It looks
to see
really
it.
dumb.
I have to see it. It is on Tubi for
Okay.
free, listeners. So just
Brad's gonna have a full recap for you next week.
Oh
I
boy.
don't know about next week, but we have Christmas break coming up. I'm going to watch it during Christmas break.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you guys for talking about Man Thing, and thank you everyone out there for listening to us prattle on. Goodbye, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful week.
And take care of your giant-sized man things.